You guys know, I'm gonna start recording.
Okay.
I've been wanting to do this for a while. Okay, this is, I guess, the first meetup. We're just gonna do this. It's basically like a podcast kind of deal.
Oh,
So,
okay, cool.
For anybody who missed out or whatever. You know.
Nice.
Because sometimes I have some really, really cool conversations like at these meetups. So
Yeah. I haven't been to this meetup in like a couple of years. I used to go here when it was Will running it. Have you met
he
Will?
still does. Do
Oh.
you go to the one in like Lover's Lane, the Central Market?
Yeah, I used to go there a lot, but I haven't gone.
I've
in the
seen
last
you
couple
like
of
in
years.
some of those on the list, but I've never. I think I met you once.
Okay, yeah, it's
Way
probably
back,
there then.
way back,
yeah,
way back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I burnt myself out on like Bitcoin news and like reading it and stuff, and so I just like concentrate on just buying.
How many do you have?
Well, I had 8 at one point, but
What happened?
I sold.
When?
Well, like, and I'm buying back in. So
When?
It sold around 800. Yeah, so.
It sold for $800?
Oh yeah, each. But like I should have kept on to it. But I needed like some
It's
moving
okay, it's
expenses.
okay, yeah.
So a big regret.
Today is my day I was talking about.
Yeah.
First time I got 0.16 Bitcoin. I paid $800 at the cigarette shop over there this afternoon. I just bought it $500 and then I got 0.167 Bitcoin.
Oh, for
First
the cigarette
Bitcoin.
shop?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's actually not the best place to buy it.
Okay, that's why I'm here. But that's the only place I investigated on internet.
So
2
there's
weeks.
there's a couple of angles to it. Do you care about having like anonymity from like IRS or for other purposes, or do you not care so much about anonymity?
No.
You don't. If you don't care about anonymity, then I'd buy just from Coinbase.
Yeah.
Coinbase?
Yeah, just
No.
buy from Coinbase.
I went to Coinbase, but it was error. I couldn't get it. I couldn't go through.
Oh,
it.
recently, right?
Recently, yes, last 2 weeks. Everything's
hit
so
with-
weird.
Well, it was so many. There were so many new people opening accounts.
Yeah, that's
that
why.
it crashed, but they
They
fixed
crashed.
that,
Yes,
Yeah,
it's not working at this moment. Like
yeah,
that.
it was just overload.
There's other exchanges though, right?
Where?
Yeah.
Doesn't Ethereum, the exchange, sell bitcoins, or is it just like Ethereum?
No, Ethereum doesn't have an exchange with this.
I just
Poloniex.
used Ethereum today.
You can get on Coinbase right now. Like,
Are you sure
yeah,
today?
yeah, you could probably make an account.
I
right
gave
now.
up, kind of.
There's
because
also-
I tried a couple of times last week.
Yeah, last week was terrible.
There's
Yeah.
also local bitcoins
Oh.
that comes at a markup.
Can I see? Excuse me. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Coinbase.
yeah.
It's reliable, of course.
Oh yeah, they're very reliable.
I thought it was
Today it's $2,700.
Coinbase.
Not bad. Huh?
So they have a feature on Coinbase
Uh-huh.
which is called a vault, and so what a vault is like, they have a wallet and a vault. So you buy Bitcoin, Bitcoin goes to your wallet.
yeah.
Now, once you get a significant amount, I would move that into a vault because a vault is all cold storage. So-
Yeah, I know.
So
But
they
tell
take
me
it
about
offline.
it.
Yeah.
My friend of mine from Japan coming next week. She became millionaire in 6 months or something because she's getting into that called Bit Monster. You know, Bit Monster, like a little cute dog, like monster. They give you 1% interest. It's like more network market. Thank you.
Is she a millionaire in terms of dollars or yen?
Yen.
Okay.
Yen. Yeah.
Now, this app changed a week ago, about
Yeah.
a week, 2 weeks ago. I was signed in, I could see
Uh.
3 or 4 of them that, one it sounds like a disease that starts with an E.
Ethereum.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something else, and now every time I have to log into this, and it used to show me I
Yeah.
spent 150 at the ATM
Uh-huh.
a month ago.
Yeah.
And it used to show me my balance.
Yeah.
And
What
now
happened?
it doesn't.
It doesn't?
Does it show you
See?
your balance?
Not in here, I mean, I have to log in.
Oh yeah, you have to log in.
You
But
have no
before,
idea.
I was always.
See, something changed the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
probably just like logged you out, for security reasons, because they did a lot of updates.
Well, but when I log back in, it still can't see like I used to.
Oh yeah, okay. That I was first time in the middle of something happening, weird things happening. So I got totally confused.
You have no idea how much I loved your way of describing what Ethereum sounds like.
How do you pronounce it?
Ethereum.
Ethereum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this. I'm just learning from her a few
Yeah.
days and
Yeah.
from you guys. What happens if your phones get lost? Can people?
Well, it depends on where you're keeping it. So,
Yeah.
like you could, there's, like if you have a wallet that's only on your phone, I mean you basically lost your Bitcoin. But if you have a wallet that has an online version, like Coinbase or blockchain, then you can log in online and have your Bitcoins there as well.
So, but the otherwise you losing it if you.
That's not necessarily true.
But this
Well,
is Ethereum,
Yeah,
right?
unless you have a key phrase that you can like use to restore
Yeah.
a wallet, then it all depends on the wallet.
Have you ever? Sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
Have you ever downloaded a Bitcoin wallet?
No, I'm just here from
She
two
just
days
in
ago.
that one.
So,
I'm giving her lecture
I
right
try
now.
to educate myself a little bit on the Google, but I have two twin grandsons, 9 years old, so I'm not all together right now till they settle down, and so it's for me it's a little bit hard to understand, especially the English terms. My vocabulary is short, that's my third language that I learned myself,
What's your
so
first?
it's uncomfortable. Well, my first is Turkish,
That's
my
right.
second one is
This
German.
building's all nice Turkish.
And then it takes me different. Like for you, maybe you learn in 2 days or 3 days something. It takes me 60 days to learn that, for words and stuff like that.
Yes.
Sir.
So that's why you
Hello.
guys go with
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll help you with the wallet
wallet.
before we leave.
After, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just need to check this.
By the way, I tried to
Hello.
download with my Apple, and you can't download, right? This is only for the telephone, Android. only.
Well, I mean, how's it on your iPhone if it's only for Android?
I mean, but yeah, it does. But basically, you can download with Mac. MacBook. I couldn't
Ama
download.
arkadaş
I don't
var
know
galiba.
what is that.
You sell it.
Alright, guys.
You sell
I'm
it.
the manager of the
So-
building. I'm so
You
sorry
said-
about that. Just they
You
were
don't
asking
listen?
me,
I don't know that.
Bitcoin,
Yeah, I know.
Bitcoin. Nobody tell me there's a meeting.
Yeah.
Where it's, and we were checking all the building, where is, and finally we found.
Congratulations.
Vereyim mi e-mail falan bir şey istiyor musunuz yoksa?
Yok buradaki ben şeyi merak ettim.
Arkadaş-
Meeting şeyini.
Arkadaş-
Can I see this email?
Okay, sure.
Oh.
What are your names?
Oh,
Chris. Wes. What's up, Wes?
Oh yeah.
Nothing
Bitcoin
much.
downtown.
I'm not terribly into Bitcoin. I just know things about it, and you drag me along. Your name?
I'm Caroline.
Caroline.
Hey,
Wes.
Caroline.
Hi.
We're also being
Hello,
recorded, so
I'm
don't say
Julia.
anything you'll regret.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Get a little closer.
Okay.
Too far away.
I know there's somebody here. Is anybody sitting?
Chris.
Oh yeah. Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Hi.
So is this like the first
Thank you.
recorded podcast?
Thank you.
Here you go, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So,
We're gonna have to
Hide
edit
out.
out like all so
no,
much crap.
no, I'm not gonna edit anything out.
They just splice it together, at the
Yeah.
beginning and the end. And
I'm just gonna put it up there and like, yeah, there we go.
Cool. So when did you start running this one? This is like a new one, like on Tuesdays.
Oh, no. The downtown one's been going on for like a year.
A year.
or so.
It's kind of perfect. You can park on the street, right? After 6:30 is kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should be
parking.
safe, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the parking.
Huh?
Where did you park?
I parked right on the corner, like just
Yeah.
about a block down.
Did you
so-
check it, right? After 6 is
Yeah, I looked
free.
at the sign. I was like, okay, good.
Yeah.
So I can
It took me
get here.
5-10 minutes to make sure.
Yeah, same here. I was like, am I good?
Yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah,
And I was
forget about
telling
that.
her,
After
I said,
6 you're
please,
good.
please,
It's
wait
not,
2
yeah.
more minutes. It's not 6 yet. And she said, oh, you're so scared. I said, I don't want they pull your car and give
Yeah.
it to
No,
you.
the thing is, between 4 and 6, you're not supposed to park in any of those.
Yeah,
Really?
but
Yeah.
you have to read. There's so many numbers and weekend the exceptions, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to read very carefully.
It's surprising on the weekends they still have like
Yeah?
on weekends. So
Oh,
kinda
okay.
interesting. They still have the same rules weekends or weekdays. Kind
So-
of surprised by that.
Oh, I'm so
So
glad
I'm
that
kinda-
somebody knows the Bitcoin.
I'm kind of here to learn more about the nature of it. So I think, and I don't mean to like
Sure, go ahead.
take this bull by the
Hello.
horns, but I think it would be cool if we all kind of went around and explained what our knowledge level was,
I did
like
not do
why we're
that.
here, what we aim to learn, and maybe what we can offer other people.
Oh, okay. So that's a good idea. Just introduce yourself, like your name, what brings you to Bitcoin, and how long have you been into Bitcoin,
Something
And-
wrong with the chair, like.
and
hope
and what
this is
brings you into it. Yeah.
Also, like, and
Well,
what maybe you can offer other people in terms of advice, because I think some of us are here to learn.
there you go. There you go.
Oh, do you want to start? Or?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, go Paul.
Hey guys, my name is Paul. I'm the organizer of the downtown Dallas Bitcoin meetup. Got into Bitcoin back when it was, I think maybe 2013, 2012, around that area, around that time. Let's see. And I'm into it for a lot of different reasons.
How'd you hear about it?
How did I hear about it? Okay, that's actually a very interesting question. I actually heard about Bitcoin back maybe, first time I heard about it, 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. It was in Austin, and we're just kind of hanging out. And it was in this like random coffee shop, and you know there's like all these like, there's all these
Brochures?
newspapers and stuff. Yeah, these like random like hacker newspapers or whatever, and these like random coffee shops. And I just picked one up, you know, I was kind of reading it, and it was talking about Silk Road, you know, Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Like, guys, there's this like drug marketplace on the internet, and you can buy these things called Bitcoins. And that's crazy. That's so stupid. You know, like that's nothing. Like whatever. But thinking back about it, you know, that's the first time I heard about it. And if you remember, that's where Ross Ulbricht was living at the time, also. So maybe it was him who, like, you know.
Oh, you think he's Satoshi Nakamoto?
No, I don't think he's Satoshi. But that was the first time I ever heard about Bitcoin. I didn't take it seriously back then. Like it was kind of like this super random, like, you know, noise, you know, that wasn't really taken seriously. So this was, I mean, you're gonna remember, this was before. I think this was before WikiLeaks. This was before a lot of things. For my doc. So it was nothing. Like there was like barely anything going on. This was like during the time of like $1 million pizzas. When people were just like blowing their bitcoins on stupid things, you know. Like, so basically, and this is actually when Satoshi Nakamoto was still around, was still kind of talking and responding to people and stuff.
Really?
So, yeah. He was still.
See some Japanese, so.
Yeah, we're not really sure if he is Japanese though.
Yeah.
His name is his Japanese name, but we're not really sure if he actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might even be a group of people.
Yeah, it could
You're
be.
right. Yeah.
So could you just? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was wondering, could you describe like some of your experiences with Bitcoin, like maybe what the ways that you know about it and stuff like that, or you know, just general knowledge about it that you've got, like where you're at, what you've done with it. That question was phrased poorly.
Bought it, invested in it, traded all the time.
Mining experience by any chance?
Oh, yeah.
I've mined. Yeah.
You do?
Not on a small scale, not on an industrial level, but at a, just to kind of get my feet wet and try to get into it and see kind of how it works. But yeah, I've done some mining. I've done.
Did you make any money out of it?
I think it paid off for the computers, like for the GPUs. So.
Okay.
Yeah, at least it paid for itself, I guess.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I heard about mining. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But in Japan, those people, I thought it's crazy, but they are already successful. Somebody started early, always. Huh? Looks so crazy.
It's always the crazy ones. That's true. Like, yeah.
Did you pay for it? You even don't know? That's interesting. Mining is. I know what I can explain.
What's the mining?
It's like mining gold, but you're mining Bitcoin.
They're people, like, so people verify the blockchain whenever there's a transaction, and then they get rewarded by doing that, by verifying it through Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
so
but
that's my
mining,
understanding.
isn't the
Is that
mining
correct?
distinct from the verification of transactions?
Yeah, there is. There's two different types because there is the verification transactions, plus there's also the new, like the formation of a new equation, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't know if it's
So-
formation. Well, yeah.
Yeah, you guys might know more about it, but I know that
Yeah.
Everybody, it sounds like this is a different than the last one, right? The last meetup, but
Yeah, that was the one. That one was
No.
more like regulatory focus, which is pretty cool. This is more.
Yeah.
More of like
So
beginner
okay,
Q&A.
I'll do like on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being have a lot of knowledge, and then go down, right?
Yeah,
So
sorry.
who would be a 1? Raise your hand. Like no knowledge at all, brand new.
Brand, kind of brand new, couple months.
Couple months, okay.
So-
Couple months.
2 days.
All right.
No.
2 to 3, somewhere kind of like maybe
Yeah.
6 months a year,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
six,
yeah, yeah.
couple months.
Yeah.
I would say
Oh, really? Oh, you guys look so expert.
Okay, and then
No, not even close.
I would say like be a 3 more than
3.
2.
Okay. 4 or 5. Anybody? Like a real.
More 4.
Oh, okay.
Who are you?
I'm Neil. I bought my first Bitcoin at a Bitcoin meetup.
No way.
Vellum.
Are you serious?
The little teller machine.
Yeah.
2014.
Yeah?
Okay.
Oh, that's
Good deal.
I bought it today at the cigarette place over there. But he said there's a better place to buy.
So, obviously, for the people that are like 3 and down, I think. So 5, and I guess it'd be really just us. You say your name is Neil?
Neil.
Neil,
Neil,
Sean,
oh.
Sean. So Neil, Paul, and Sean. So there's no one else for.
How many
Oh.
years you?
I'm like, well, Paul's probably the longest,
Yes, yeah.
but as far as just like a lot of knowledge, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So there's so much. It's like a massive tsunami wave,
Uh-huh.
and
I already introduced myself.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
we should like go this way.
yeah. We're just trying to find out who knows what, because every question, we just try to like
Yeah,
That's
you're
fine.
right.
try to get
Yeah,
to
it should,
everything,
we should probably do like
Should
3
be
and
low
below.
level,
With
yeah.
3 and below, we should probably be more concise. With ones who are 4 or 5, y'all should probably go longer.
Yeah, to try to. I think maybe pick up people to speed a little bit, because there's actually a lot of issues in the Bitcoin space right now, like a hard
I
fork.
know.
Oh yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
Well, maybe we
Okay.
can go through the introductions and then we can
Yeah,
find out
I mean,
what,
so
what
let's-
everybody's level is.
Let's go that way, and then
Yeah.
you go
Especially-
concise because you're like me. Your knowledge is 3 or below, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to get a Bitcoin too, right?
Yes, I mean, so basically, I started looking into it a couple of months ago. I think it was like the end of March or something.
Yeah,
And so I signed up for a Coinbase account, and
Yeah.
then bought my first one just for fun, and then sold it immediately after. And I was like, just to see how everything works, But I just basically wanted to learn. I mean, I got into it at first because I thought, it might be like a good investment. But then I started wanting to learn more about the technology behind it. And from Bitcoin, I started seeing all about all the other altcoins as well. So I'm just trying to basically absorb
Yeah,
as
you
much
should.
knowledge as I
Did you
can
buy
in
it
different
a
industries.
couple months ago?
Well, I did, but then I got rid of it.
What?
And then I sold it immediately. And then
already?
so I'm trying to figure out, exactly how to approach it and everything. But and then yesterday I found a Bitcoin ATM. Just wanted to see
Where?
how it works in Arlington.
Oh, I
And so anyway, I just put $10 in just to see how it works.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Close to Collins and 30. There's like a little phone fix-it store, and they have an ATM in there as well.
Ah.
And so I'm basically at the stage where I'm just trying to absorb information and learn. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's so many misinformation. Like the address was I went to yesterday in Louisville. I live in Louisville. The address ended up to be middle of the freeway,
Oh.
like that. So I was go around, driving around,
Trying to
and
figure out where it is.
what is that? So a lot of people think this is fake.
Uh-huh.
They don't know anything anyway. My friend around, do you know Bitcoin? What is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody knows
I just wanted to
anything.
basically meet other people who knew about it. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
my own real life. Like
Yeah.
nobody really cares.
It's like
Do you have technical background?
I'm an accountant. Well, I used to be an accountant. Yeah. Well, not
Really?
anymore. I'm a stay-at-home mom at the moment, but used to be an accountant. So I just wanted to learn for fun. So,
That's good.
I'm kind of in your boat too. So we're going around introducing yourselves. If your skill level is on a 5-point scale, 4 or higher, go long. Tell us everything you know. If it's 3 or below, be concise.
Okay, I didn't really understand what you said, but I'm Jerry Ryson. I've been looking at blockchain for about a year, mostly for the infrastructure stuff, not so much for the tokens and currency. And how it can juice organic businesses. I think the tokens are, the risk is not worth the coin.
Tokens, the risk isn't worth the coin.
You mean the ICOs?
Any of it. I believe in using the technology and the interest in tokens to juice businesses that would otherwise be successful anyway.
What do you mean
You're-
juice?
Yeah,
I'm
you're
sorry,
speaking
I
in lingo. You have to define juice and tokens. So
Just make it more attractive. So if you have a consumer-faced business that is an attractive business on an organic basis, and you marry it with a token, that makes that more attractive. It doesn't really matter where the token trades monetarily.
By token, do you mean coin?
Yeah.
Okay.
What he's saying is that a lot of businesses are just saying, "Oh, blockchain. We use blockchain," and so like when people hear that, like, "Oh man, that's blockchain. Let me give you guys money." You know, like that sounds really cool, or that sounds like you guys are. But it really they don't really like I can say, "Oh, this meetup uses blockchain."
Yeah.
Yeah, blockchain isn't blockchain anyway. I mean, there's decentralized permissionless and there's centralized permission blockchain. And there's Ripple and there's Ethereum and there's Bitcoin. It just goes on and on. It's amazing. And the more you study it, the more it's not as monolithic as you think. But the basic technological concepts, I think, have the potential to reshape the way we do business, like the internet reshaped the way we do business.
Could you give us an example of maybe something that you'd have in mind that you think would be just a really great use case for the blockchain? Just to.
I could, but without an NDA, I'd have to kill you right after I told you.
Okay, could you give us an use case that's already been done where the NDA obviously wouldn't help you?
If I could just say this, there's a company right now that is using blockchain to catalog the diamond industry. So every piece of it is.
What chain?
I'm sorry?
What coin?
It's blockchain, not Bitcoin.
No. Do they have a token?
It was on a video. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I saw a YouTube video.
Yeah, there's a good person doing it with artwork who I met up at the Consensus 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Jerry went to Consensus, which was one of the biggest conferences in the world for blockchain technology, and it had the biggest names around the world. It was pretty expensive, but yeah. So Jerry was exposed to all types of stuff that even myself that I'm not aware of.
What it does is it eliminates fraud. So it takes a picture of the actual diamond and then it tracks it through all of its transactions. And the whole idea is it's a real sleazy business and you're going to eliminate a lot of fraud through using the blockchain technology.
Right, so there's a lot of provenance and tracking concepts around it. There's a guy named Fred. What's Fred's last name?
Taylor?
No, Fred Constant.
Oh, Constant, sorry.
What's it?
Fred C.
Fred C. It's just a name that goes on for about a sentence long. He's doing it around tracking provenance, ownership, and compensation for music. So all music has become so exploited. If you're a musician, you're struggling to get some compensation for what you produce, and everybody's going to get your stuff for free. But he's going to kind of track all that concept. He's a incredible guy. He holds the lunch meetings at the Quarter Bar.
Right now, some of the exploitation in the music industry, or the alleged exploitation, I don't mean that in a derisive way. The exploitation could actually be going on. I just don't know that it is, so I say alleged. Is with services like Spotify or Apple Music not paying a lot of royalties. So could you, assuming there's no NDA, you'd have to kill me over?
No, that's Fred's deal. So, and as I would understand it, so you wouldn't have to have so much. Of course, Apple and others have reduced a lot of middleman anyway, right? But they reduced it even more.
So would the blockchain solve the problem of preventing fraud on the part of Apple or Spotify, or is it a different problem you'd be after? Because
that's not my concept; it's Fred's.
Yeah,
so I haven't dug down to the essentials.
Enough.
Anyway, my concept is tokenizing
you would have to kill us.
Consumer activities for the benefit of people, and sending them toward those beneficial behaviors through the use of a token.
Yeah.
Among other things.
By the way, I just came back from Japan. I'm Japanese. I'm back and forth, and every time, like a couple months ago, I tried to send like $1,000 to Japan. It came back 3 times at this age. The year, and it's not easy to transfer money. I think Bitcoin.
Was this via the regular bank channel?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like crazy.
Yeah.
What is the problem?
high
So
risk.
next time I brought some money for my kids' college tuition from Japan, and the immigration questioned me, why you bring like $10,000? What are you going to use in something? They question me, the money, and oh my gosh.
Well, it's like legal tender in Japan now.
What?
What, Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're using more and more.
Yeah.
So
There's
it's like crazy.
There's
2
a
weeks
group out
ago,
of Fort Worth called CoinSource, right?
big player or
That
something.
is doing transfers, international transfers through kiosks, mostly to serve the unbanked, people who don't have bank accounts.
But minus zero, right? Minus some interest, right? The bank, just such a rip off.
Luis knows a lot about how to do.
Yeah, but that's why
stuff.
I'm interested in Bitcoin and those
Well,
chain for the
are we still
exchange.
doing?
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of
should
doing
still
the introduce
keep
yourself,
doing
but
it.
Who was next?
we're
Okay,
going
sorry,
we're
yeah.
going this direction, but
Okay.
we skipped you, so go
Okay.
next.
Oh, sorry. So I didn't mean to step in late. I work downtown, so I walked in. It's a bad idea. It's 95. Anyway, so my name is Luis Rivera. I work for JP Morgan Chase here downtown Dallas. I'm a anti-money laundering investigator, KYC. So I work with, and by the way, I'm not here on behalf of Chase. This is just me, right, as an interested third party, independent completely from Chase's opinions. So I work mostly working with our partners in the commercial bank on completing the due diligence required by our regulators, right? So anytime we onboard a new client, we do all this due diligence that's required by our government, and we report back to the government to ensure that our clients aren't doing anything they're not supposed to, right? I've been in the space for 2 years now, I guess, a little over 2 years now, and been fascinated with it both from a compliance perspective and from a potential paradigm shift. I mean, so many things that are going for it. Going back to your payments, the only thing I can think of, the reason it was returned, if it was something that was not normal to your spending patterns, then banks immediately flag it, and just to be safe, they return stuff.
$1,000?
Again, I know it sounds goofy, but there's algorithms in place that help monitor transaction activity.
Really?
And if it's out of your normal spending pattern, banks will automatically, just to be safe, right, rather than face a fine from the government. Not that you're doing anything illegal, but they just rather stop it and then ask questions and then come back to it if they need to.
Okay.
By the way, guys, I got a meetup called Blockchain Law for Everyone. If you're interested, you can join that. So we discussed, it's actually a blockchain law study group for lawyers to interchange how law affects blockchain, and then one for non-lawyers called Blockchain Law for Everyone. And I also have something called Muscle Mass Monkey. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
Basically, you can. Basically, it's a way for me to get workout partners, and you can reserve to work out with me for $50. And if you show up, you get it back. But if you don't, I keep your $50.
That's actually a smart idea because it keeps you accountable, right? It keeps you
The whole
accountable.
point of it.
Yeah.
It makes me accountable,
Right?
especially if somebody's going to show up.
Yeah.
Because then I feel bad about keeping your $50. That would be versus them too, but if they don't show up,
But what happens if
basically,
you don't
so
show up?
they pay me for not working them out.
Good idea.
Not that $50 does anything. So just a way to get out there and work out. Anyway.
All right, so my name is Sean Spain, and I've been following Bitcoin and blockchain for over a year. How I started is I actually worked in the fitness industry for 6 years as general manager, and the entire time that I worked in the fitness industry, even dealt with some pretty well-off clients, I had never heard of Bitcoin. Or anything really revolutionary or anything that innovative. And how it happened for me was I came across a Goldman Sachs article where they invested $500,000 in a startup. $500,000 is not a lot of money to a big conglomerate, powerful company, but to us it is, or at least to me, it is. Unless some of you, ICO'd in Ethereum, multi-millionaires today, but it is a lot of money to me. And so I started reading this article and started talking about Bitcoin. So then right away, I went straight to, to books to read, and I read Digital Gold by Nathaniel Popper, and then I also read another book called Industries of the Future. And Digital Gold talks about Silk Road and really the people that in the very beginning how they all came about and how Bitcoin started to gain momentum. You know, in the very beginning, it was just really, you know, nerds or really techie guys and cryptographers, right? Because it's highly advanced math. That's how really what the money system that we're on now is, they call it quantitative easing, where we're just printing money. They print about $80 million a month that, you know, that we know of. And that's why everything's so expensive, because they've watered down the value. And so with Bitcoin, there's a set number of coins, 21 million. And so we're moving over from like a centralized to a decentralized kind of society. And there's many benefits. Just as an example, you know, Chase got hacked, and basically we're witnessing the rise of these hackers, and I would call it the fourth industrial revolution. And you know, basically there's not going to be a central spot of attack, because when basically this one point of attack, everything falls. So now when it's decentralized, it doesn't matter that, you know, they attack my computer that's mining or whatnot. You know, Gary still has his, and the protocol. You know, everybody that's on the network, you know, all agrees on, you know, what's going on. And so, anyways, the more I read, the more I understood, and I actually fact-checked everything in this book. You know, I like to ask questions outside of just what I'm reading. And sure enough, I started looking at coin market cap. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely should, you know, it shows all the different coins. I started learning about ICOs. I started reading only blockchain. I started following CoinDesk, which is an American-based news publication, Cointelegraph, which is based out of the UK. And every single day, or at least, you know, every other day, there was this breaking hot news of some, you know, company in America or around the world, or governments that are investing in blockchain technology. So I was like, okay, so we have, you know, these, you know, governments and all this money being dumped. Obviously there's something here. Then I watched a few different documentaries. The End of Money As We Know It. Deep Web talks about Ross Ulbricht and you know, how Bitcoin started to gain momentum. And I learned about Mt. Gox. Mt. Gox was the largest exchange at one time in the world out of Japan.
Yeah.
And it started out, Mt. Gox was a trading platform essentially for magic cards. Okay. And I believe the guy's name is Jed. He actually has stellar lumens, and actually on the 26th of this month, if you're holding Bitcoin in a wallet, you're going to get, I forgot how many stellar lumens, but you're going to receive some. So there's a lot of all types of cool, innovative stuff happening. But anyways, Mt. Gox got hacked, or actually, I'm sorry, we really don't know what happened. We don't know if it was an inside job or what, but we do know is they controlled 70% of the transactions. And as soon as that got hacked, that's when Bitcoin was it peaked about $1,200 and came all the way back down to about $188. And even though it, you know, lost from, you know, into the thousand into, you know, less than $200, it was still the best performing, you know, we don't label it a currency, but it is currency in the world still, even though it had the worst year since its existence.
ICO stands for initial coin offering,
Correct.
am I right? Okay.
And so, what?
It's supposed to sound like IPO.
Yeah, that's why I kind of initial coin offering, I guess what the C meant, because of the similar to IPO.
So 2016 and especially this year is a pivotal point for everybody that's in blockchain, because when I started looking at the ecosystem, it was about $8 billion. And today I believe it's right under $120 billion. So it doesn't matter that, you know, it's not, you know, Bitcoin obviously it's sky high right now, but the other coins, they were really low market caps. And I mean, even if you were to just, you know, and just various coins spread it out, you would have a 20 or 40x. And if we were on Wall Street, then, I mean, there'd be cameras and TV everywhere. because that doesn't happen anymore. And so, anyways, 2016, there started to be all these ICOs, and I saw a lot of ICOs built on Ethereum. Ethereum was created by Vitalik Buterin, and Ethereum right now, as we're witnessing, is actually going to overtake Bitcoin. And to kind of bring everybody up to speed that doesn't really know, and maybe even the guys that do know, maybe to get your opinion, there's a massive problem with the block size. The block size is only 1 megabyte, and if you're sending Bitcoins right now, it's taking a long time. Plus, the fees are increasing because more and more people are on the network. But Nick Zombo, this is in Banking on Bitcoin, another documentary that if you haven't watched, you should, that recently came out.
Yeah.
He actually wrote Bit Gold. He was a cypherpunk in the 90s. And there's other ones, Hal Finney and a few of these other guys. And, Julian Assange, right? WikiLeaks, right? He's a cypherpunk. And, anyways, when you look at what he wrote, it's a mirror image of Bitcoin, and he just called it Bit Gold. And so what he said recently, this is very recently, he said that there's people obsessed with increasing the block size. But what the block size is, and obviously it's very limited, so in theory, and it hasn't even been done, Bitcoin can process you can process every, I forgot how many transactions per 7 seconds, but it's not even possible. But like MasterCard, they can process 25 million transactions a second. That's at their peak. So that's insane amount, insane difference, right? And but what the parameter, it's really like a parameter, like a shield, because think of it like a nuclear power plant, and it's this block size is protecting that nuclear power plant. And if we lift that block size, then it's going to be running full steam ahead, and just like a train, you can't run it on full steam forever.
That's an analogy. There's a reason behind this.
Yes, because as some of you, in this meeting will potentially go home or, tell other people, post on social media and purchase Bitcoin, it's I really advise it with caution, because on August, so at the conference, they agreed that they were they want to fork the code, right?
Yeah.
And as we saw with Ethereum, when there was a hack on DAO tokens, okay? What happened is these hackers siphoned off all the tokens, and so what they did is they split the code and erased the hack like it never happened. And then Ethereum Classic was born, and that's actually predominantly what I hold. And I started buying it when it was $1, a little over $1, and it's like $20.
When was it?
Last
year?
No, this year. I bought it
This year?
March.
Wow.
That didn't quite explain though. You mentioned I've been paying attention to the fork, and it's made me reluctant to invest in any coin because I just don't know what's going to happen. You made that analogy to a nuclear power plant. If you let it go full steam ahead, things go awry. Could you explain, I guess, the process of lifting the limitations on it, in terms of like what the limitations are, and how them being lifted creates issues?
Don't some of the miners not want the limitations to be explained?
Yeah, I mean, really, it comes down to power. Because think about it, we're able now to print our own money. In Montana, I believe it's Montana, the state gave $400,000 to a startup.
Yeah, last week or something.
And then, so there's, it's not in the best interest for everybody that's holding Bitcoin for the code to fork, because if that happens, it could very easily crash.
So whenever you say lift off the limits, what you're talking about is actually a fork, not lifting off the limits of Bitcoin itself.
Lifting off the block size, the 1 megabyte limit. Yes.
Yeah, that'll be cut.
So would changing the block size constitute a hard fork?
Yes.
Okay.
You're changing the rules of the game.
I see what you mean now. I thought you were talking about
Who has the
leaving
right
Bitcoin
to do that?
the same.
Well, I mean, it's it's literally like a civil war online about it.
Yeah.
And
See, one thing that, look, the problem with the new technology is that people have a utopian view of it initially, right? But that's a natural human thing. People want to believe in a utopia.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's really amazing. Look, this distributed, automated, permissionless, unhackable technology. Guess what? It's probably not any of those things because it's a human-created system. So when you find a human-created system that's perfect, let me know. So so the more I dig, the more I worry, because so you know Omar Sayed, right? That shorter guy, really high tech guy. He's done mining. Luis knows him. He's been a NASA technology guy. He's the guy who solved like unsolvable scalability problems for NASA, things like that. He was explaining to me how this works. And I'm not saying I even understand what he told me. So I'm not even going to be saying this the right way, but it's the kind of thing that makes me worried, which is why I want to pursue businesses that are organically correct and are just benefited by the token, not driven by the token, right?
Yeah,
And,
I'm sorry. Worried about the money, right?
Well,
The value of the.
to have the ledger work, you have to have humans set up mining operations. Now, if you're a regular person like me, you think mining is the initial getting out of the ground of the token, or what they call the genesis block in blockchain. But mining is every transaction. A miner does every transaction. So if miner does the genesis block, but also does, when people want to trade, they mine for those trades, and then all the nodes agree, and they create. Am I correct so far, Sean?
when you're trading on exchanges, so the biggest exchange in the world right now is Poloniex. It's like far ahead of every single exchange. And when you're doing it on the exchanges, it's not on the chain; it's off the chain.
Which is again different from the concept, though. But in any event,
Scale it's.
so I was talking to Omar, and Omar wanted to invest in ICO that we see went down, but he couldn't get in, and he couldn't get in because, and I haven't traded the tokens this week. I'm going to get some money, then with Luis's help and your help and other people's help who know this shit, I'm going to put it in there so I can feel the experience of it.
Yeah.
But he couldn't get into the ICO because he didn't offer the miners enough compensation to mine his tokens. Now, how one figures out how much is enough, I don't know.
Yeah,
but apparently what the miners do is they will pick the trades to document based on how much money they get. And
to send the feed through, if you send Ethereum, what they use is called gas. And basically, wherever you set, like it'll show like a estimated, but if you raise it, then it's quicker.
Look. Miners, they're like bouncers, okay? And it's like the transaction is like you're trying to get into the club, right? But the bouncers, miners want a certain fee, okay? There can only be so many people in there. So you got, sometimes like if it's a slow night, you can pay like $5 and they'll let you in, right? But sometimes if it's like a Saturday night and it's like everybody wants to get in there, you gotta pay like $100.
in any event, what it revealed to me
that's basically what it
is it's not as automated as people think. It's driven by humans. And being driven by humans means it's going to be issues like this, where you want to do a transaction and you can't. And being driven by humans means that any sort of a herd mentality of those miners is going to be problematic, including a herd mentality that says, I'm tired of mining. And when they're tired of mining, that's going to be a big old crash. Because the thing that causes crashes is when transactions quit happening.
I know you want to jump in, but I really want to ask for a clarification on the concept of mining.
Mining is POW, proof of work.
Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, so that does kind of give me some clarification. It gives me a hint. But my question is, there's mining in the sense of it seems like actually mining Bitcoin or getting stuff that almost hits toward the limit of it, and then there's just transaction confirmation. Okay. So is that like two very different styles, two very different things that are both called mining?
This is where the blockchain comes in. Okay, so let's explain this.
Well, could you give us your background? Because you're obviously technically proficient at this. So what was, and we showed up same things. I don't even know your name.
Paul.
Paul?
Yeah.
But
anyway,
I just like don't remember things.
So basically, to answer your question, right? Every 10 minutes on the Bitcoin blockchain, it creates what's called a block, right? Now, every time this block is created, it releases a certain amount of Bitcoins to whoever mines the block, whoever discovers it. But it also records all the transactions that were made in that period, in that 10 minutes, right?
Well, not all of them, right? Can do all of them, or is it just a piece of them?
The ones that can fit into the block. Because right now, that's the size of the block right now is 1 megabyte. So every minute or every 10 minutes, we have 1 megabyte blocks being created, and whatever transactions that can fit into that block.
So Paul, the person who does the mining is compensated in two ways then? They
transaction fees
and they do a little bit from the block reward.
Right.
And that's kind of the genesis block concept. The genesis of the block gives them the compensation, as well as the transactional fees. Am I wrong?
I think the Genesis block is like the first ever block ever.
Yeah,
Oh, first ever. Okay.
Yeah, but every block has a miners get compensated with transaction fees and the block reward. So right now the block reward is like 25 bitcoins.
No, it's 12 and a half.
Is it 12 and a half now?
Yeah, every 4 years it halves.
But the point is, mining doesn't make any money anymore, right? That's period, isn't it?
It's still
Mining.
No, it's extremely competitive.
You think
Depends
it's,
which coin.
It depends
and
on-
depends what the value of the coin
it's,
is.
it's not easy at all, right? Used
I
to be,
mean-
I think, easy. Because I saw, like last year, Ethereum was selling in Japan for, how do you say, pre-sale or something. Some reason. They sold the Ethereum in Asia first. Did you know that? Like John Hopkins guy came. He was a starter or something.
Yeah, but
Ethereum's been
Paul,
sold
doesn't it
worldwide
depend upon the obviously
Pretty
whether you make money mining
Yeah.
depends upon number one what your costs are. So you have some embedded capital costs.
It was so cheap.
I
I saw
know. Let me
it
finish
floated
it.
me, yeah.
You have your embedded capital costs for buying your equipment, and you have your operational costs for electricity and whatever you do to maintain it. So that against the value of the coins and the numbers that you generate when you create a block and get transaction fees, and that obviously the values are all over the place. It's hard to tell whether you're going to make money or not. And number two, that the ease or whatever with you can get a coin, and different coins are going to be different, right? Ethereum coin mining is going to be different than, right? Isn't it all right?
Right.
And the problem, the thing that Omar said to me is this. I said, well, he said, now in Bitcoin, at least this was a week ago, you're not really making any money mining. Maybe you are in Ethereum and other things. And I said, well, then why are people doing the mining? And if they're not making money, will the transactional competency or ability to just evaporate, right? Because there won't be no way to mine. I said, well, people are still doing it because they're banking on continued rise in Bitcoin value.
Right.
So it suddenly occurred to me, well, the moment people think there's going to be a crash in Bitcoin value, the amount of miners is going to evaporate.
Not only that, you lose money because electricity,
Right?
Yes and no.
Well, that's just
like,
speculation. That's, yeah.
Like it'll drive some
But I
miners
mean, that doesn't make
out of
you
business,
wrong.
but others will just stick around and like weather it out.
I wish I could understand why that would be the case. Look,
Or some people will just really.
I'm into my fourth decade of doing business,
bad habit.
and I'm kind of a business historian guy.
Right.
I know how crashes happen.
So some people,
For
you
sure.
know, some people are stronger holders than others. Like some people are gonna stay there whether
Yeah.
it's storm, and others.
I think it was
are gonna
railing
jump
a
in.
point that you wanted to make.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in here is gonna mine. So I think,
No, I understand that, but we depend upon the miners to do transactions.
yeah, but
That's the problem.
But
So my
so the
question-
Bitcoin
I also
network.
think, Jerry, guys like you coming into this space, into this ecosystem, are going to solve those problems by maybe doing solar mining, or where the cost is actually so minimal now that it can be done by your toaster.
Could be.
So some of the most more, I guess, like profitable or effective like mining people right now, they use like renewable energy, like right next to hydroelectric power, dams, or like solar powered, or sometimes in these colder countries they have like geothermal mining
Yeah,
operations.
this is a
So
big reason why mining is so centralized in China. right? So
Yeah.
China has a huge mining population.
Yeah, and what they do in
But
China is they put you in pods and they stick little things in you and you create the electricity. You create electricity for the machines that run China. And that's how they make
Way
it.
less regulation.
So my understanding is huge infrastructure build out in China. You've heard of these ghost cities, right?
That's how they keep their economy up.
Well, so they build out. They have huge infrastructure plays, including hydroelectric dams, hydroelectric power plants.
Cool.
So what ends up happening essentially, because they didn't build out the grid network, right? There's no way to distribute the excess power
Interesting.
to the next state.
They're turning the coin.
So what ends up happening is that little jurisdiction, that little municipality that has a huge new power plant for the expected growth, right, is producing all this excess power. Well, they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So the chip manufacturers from the big cities come over and they say, hey, listen, you've got all this excess power. We're building the latest chips, right? So why don't we get together, form a little consortium, and we'll mine Bitcoin.
Luis, that is an unbelievably great way to use up the excess power produced by solar and wind.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
When you can't.
When you have guys that have been 40 years in business, they can find solutions for this problem.
Can I interrupt? You guys know about BitShares then? Anybody know that one?
So the ETF or no?
Is this a coin?
That's another coin.
Yeah, I've heard.
Oh.
Yes.
Can I just briefly tell something about it? I heard this recently.
Wow! So
It's gonna solve all the energy problems.
We don't need huge batteries to store the energy.
For people that don't know, like, you know, how? Here's a good question. How powerful is the Bitcoin network right now?
In what terms?
I mean, does anybody even have any
There's
idea?
a website that.
Well, no. I'm talking about
listed.
how strong is
Like the encryption or?
the protocol
the-
itself.
The hashes.
Well,
how
it's
many-
41 billion strong, right?
It's stronger than 500 of our supercomputers times 10,000. That's how powerful.
You're talking about the computer power?
Yes.
That's all in the nodes.
Which is also power consumption, right?
So basically, you know, just so you have an idea, is so this is something that's extremely powerful.
Yeah, I think because I saw like last year Ethereum was like less than $1, okay, and I thought they're crazy, they're buying pre-sale things, right? And it's year, right? It's like skyrocketing, right? I saw in front of me, but nobody tried to make really money. I think Bitcoin is same thing.
So
if you try to make money, I think you fail. I think it's more.
Something I want to bring up though is that there's a huge difference between like an ICO, where you're buying equity into a company, and just buying a coin, which is you're basically just speculating on like a commodity. Because a lot of these ICOs, it's based around a company, right? It's like an IPO, it's like stock. You're buying a piece of a company. And a lot of coins are not really like that. It's kind of like if you're investing in whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other kind of coin, it's kind of like buying gold or silver or a currency. Like if you're buying like British pounds or euros or something like that. Like it's not exactly a company that you're buying into.
Yeah,
more of an economy.
But back to like the little bit of history, so everybody's kind of on the same page. You know, basically, in this last year, really just 2016. I think kind of, you know, if you go too far back, then people don't really understand. But so there's proof of work, POW, and there's proof of stake, where there's no mining process, and everybody holding the coins in a wallet is receiving coins daily every time it pings your wallet. But anyway, so. There's documentaries that you should watch. They're on, I believe, Amazon Prime, maybe Netflix, and to really help you to see, you know,
what's the name of the movie?
Banking on Bitcoin, Deep Web. But actually, I've always been into economics, and the base of any currency upcoming always comes from typically illegal things. And Silk Road is actually a pivotal point for Bitcoin, and not just Bitcoin, but actually internet privacy. So I actually advise everybody to read into Ross's, you know.
I'm sorry, say again.
Russell.
What are you recommending?
Deep Web.
Deep Web?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, and it's a really, it's still ongoing. Actually, his appeal just got denied by, I believe, Supreme Court. But I think we'll definitely see a big shift from this one case. But anyway, so Silk Road, people were, for the first time, the cypherpunks had envisioned where people could buy and sell whatever they want with no middleman and no one to tell them no.
Yeah.
So it was really there, this freedom where people, could do what they want. And it wasn't until Senator Schumer out of New York when he, launched his campaign to shut it down. And anyways, there's all types of fraud in the case. FBI agents stole Bitcoins. 2 of them are now in prison. So it's a very interesting case, and I advise everybody to look into. But after Silk Road went down, that's when really a lot of VCs, venture capitalists, started to invest. And then all of a sudden, all these coins started to come up out of nowhere. And 2 of the guys that I listen to a lot, one of them is actually from Dallas, another one's from Austin, is ties in Leon Fu. And they have tons of videos on, they're in actually an investment channel, and they go and interview different projects and weigh out the pros and cons. I actually believe that both of those guys are multimillionaires because they were just buying in when the market cap was so low. But you're going to hear ICO, you're going to hear mining. I understand people don't understand, but if you just read like news publications daily, you'll start to grasp. But the second biggest coin is Ethereum. Now, why is Ethereum so? Literally, I was buying in at $8, and it's right at $400. And so, why did Ethereum go, this massive jump, right? 3,000%. How is that even possible, right? In such a short amount of time. Well, on February 28th, came out Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. And that had JP Morgan, USB, Blanco Santander, and various banks from around the globe. And they teamed up to create this alliance. And then they added more people during Consensus, the conference. And that's what I see happening is that's how they're hedging their money. They're hedging in this innovative smart contract. And that's why we're actually witnessing, I believe too, like some others, that Ethereum will overtake Bitcoin's market cap for the first time. Bitcoin really just had, first advantage.
The flippening.
Yeah, it's called the flippening. But
well, per miners right now, there's 30,000 Ethereum miners versus 7,000 Bitcoin miners now. So you can see why the Bitcoin is so slow. In fact, I did Shapeshift last night.
Nice.
From Bitcoin.
For the first time?
No, I've used it before, but I actually used the Shapeshift. Now there's a wallet called Jax, which it just got.
I know.
Oh my god.
Never liked Jax.
Anyway, it took 16 hours to move it over.
Would you
over?
Would you convert? Is that essentially converting one of the others?
Bitcoin to Ether. Yeah.
Yes. The Ethereum right now is actually having the same scalability issues that Bitcoin.
I don't see it personally, and miners are actually making more in Ethereum versus Bitcoin. That's why they're all.
So, does anyone have any
over.
dissenting opinions on this? Because the whole Ethereum versus Bitcoin and the idea of hard forks, as far as I know, is really controversial, and I feel like we're getting one side of this.
Bitcoin can do things and has the capabilities that Ethereum can't do, and Ethereum can do things that Bitcoin can't do.
So do you think it's going to be something like one kills the other, or they both exist?
No, they're both good.
What is the use case of Ethereum?
Yeah, that's actually what I was about to say. So, like I believe is, and actually many articles that I've read, is that what CEOs, executives, what they believe cryptocurrency is not human payments. It's actually machine-to-machine payments. And the first revolution that we're going to see that's going to disrupt everything is self-driving cars. It already works. Already have technology. Tesla will probably be the first one as far as on the road. But Ethereum is going to be like this grid system and self-driving cars, autonomous drones. Okay, it sounds far-fetched, but it's much closer than what we can even imagine. Where when we want something, we'll have a drone deliver it to us, right away.
I have a question. Okay, those things is gonna hurt, banking system, right? All over the world. You think they're so powerful, right? or bankers,
You,
but
you
that
hear
didn't
all
happen.
sorts of opinion on this, and depending if you get on Reddit or if you, it depends on where you get your source from. I think like a lot of other technologies, there will be a point of equilibrium, right? Because my mother will never purchase Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Until she has the ability to do this, right, on her phone, she just won't mess with it.
Yeah,
She's,
you're right.
In fact, I love my mother to death, but she still writes checks at the grocery store.
Of course.
So for cash.
Yeah.
So when she will adopt it,